Hey y'all, it's Amanda and this is my Texas Zone 8 garden, and before we dive in, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with a fellow gardening friend. Okay, you probably noticed that as I'm talking, my voice is not lining up with the video, and that's because my lovely microphone decided to give out during the first portion of this video. But I just wanted to let you know that that's going to look a little different, but only for the beginning portion. Okay, we are going to be starting on ranunculus corms. We're going to be pre-sprouting ranunculus corms today, and I am so incredibly excited because I have a lot of varieties that I've been wanting to try. So let's jump in. Okay, ranunculus are one of my favorite couture blooms to grow in my own home garden. They are very expensive in floral world, and I am so happy that after probably about 7 years of growing ranunculus, the last 3 years I've really gotten it down, and that process begins now during the fall. I'm going to show you one of my favorite ways to pre-sprout these cool weather-loving beauties. It's super simple and easy, and this really gives me a jump on some absolutely beautiful blooms in very early spring. For me, pre-sprouting in fall is essential for getting blooms next year. It really helps to get a controlled head start and develop strong roots and blooms earlier in the spring. Here in Texas Zone 8, our springs get hot very fast, and by planting in the fall, these ranunculus are more likely to produce blooms before the heat hits. Now, I did get some varieties from Eden Brothers I'm really excited about, and my friend Lita from my Patreon community, she sent me 4 varieties of ranunculus as well, so I can't wait to show you all about those. In addition, I have all the ranunculus corms that I lifted myself after the last growing season. I store them in this plastic bag. I lift them once they have turned yellow and dried up, and then I take them and allow them to dry, and once they're dry, I put them in this clear bag, leaving it open to make sure that no moisture can get contained in there. Okay, here's a close-up of those corms. They're kind of dried, shriveled, desiccated at this point in time. So the pre-sprouting process allows us to basically resuscitate these, basically trick them into thinking that it's time to start growing. Okay, so let me walk you through this easy process. This can seem harder when you're reading about it or watching other people do it, so I really wanted to take my time, show y'all how easy this process is. I have a container for each variety of ranunculus. You can put them all in the same container if you don't care about keeping them separate. I wanted to keep them separate for this go around. So just a container for each one, go ahead and dumping them in there. And then I want to make sure that I label each of these so that as I go back later, then I'll be able to identify which variety is which. Next, I'm going to use just basic clear water. This is just right out of the tap. I'm going to fill these containers about halfway with the water. You definitely want containers that are big enough for the ranunculus to move easily around so that they don't have to be jammed up against each other, because they are going to swell in size. And then you also want to be able to make sure that you have lots of oxygen. You've oxygenated the water, and if you have too small of a container, that is far more difficult to do. Now in this large bowl, I've already filled it up with water, and I'm going to dump all of the ranunculus corms that I lifted from last season. I like saving my ranunculus corms because these suckers are expensive, so whenever you can reuse them, it works best. And I left a lot of the soil on them, but they'll be fine. It's just going to be really messy water. And now we're going to allow these ranunculus to sit in these containers for about 3 to 4 hours tops. You don't want to go more than that. And we want to oxygenate the water. Basically, every once in a while, I'll put a little bit more water in these containers, or I can use something to stir them up and mix some more oxygen in it. I found that this is not essential for me to produce a bunch of ranunculus. It's just something I still do, but I kind of think I could get away with not doing that at all. So let's give this about 3 to 4 hours, and I'll chat with you about the varieties of ranunculus that I'll be growing this year. Okay, first up we have romantic mixed ranunculus, which is a blend of softly hued double blooms in coral, pink, and salmon tones, giving a romantic palette. It grows 12 to 15 inches tall. It prefers full sun with well-draining soil. Next up is Ranunculus Marshmallow, which features large double blooms in soft blush pink tones with strong stems ideal for cutting. It grows 10 to 15 inches tall, prefers full sun with excellent drainage, and is known for long vase life and high performance among ranunculus varieties. Tomer White is a variety that features creamy white, rose-like blooms atop a lush mound of finely cut foliage. It grows 10 to 12 inches tall and is well suited for containers or borders, best planted in full sun with well-draining soil and treated as an annual in cooler regions. Tomer Purple is a compact ranunculus with deep purple, peony-shaped double blooms on short stems at about 10 inches. It works great for containers or front border plantings. Tomer Pink offers layered petals in soft pink tones that resemble mini peonies, creating an elegant display in early spring. It grows similarly to other Tomer types at around 10 to 12 inches tall and of course thrives in full sun with excellent drainage. Tecolote Merlot is a cultivar that produces rich wine purple blooms on sturdy stems roughly 12 to 16 inches tall. It's designed for cut flowers and thrives in full sun with well-draining soil and offers showy, dense petals for a glamorous look. Okay, these have been soaking for about 3 hours. You can see how they've swollen up, which is very cool. So these little finger things point down into the soil. And you can see this top part is where the plant will grow from. Just checking out some of these. These look good. This romantic mix has some really big ones in here. And then over here is my original mix, and a lot of these, like in this is probably 4 corms in this bigger one right here. I don't usually pull them all apart. I usually leave them together. So it's like a nice big corm. You can see like here's all the little fingers. There's probably like 3 or 4 of them in here. I just plant them like that. I don't even stress about it. Okay, so we're gonna need some trays. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to move some of this over a little bit, making sure I keep my tags with them. Make some room in here. Okay, and I have 2 trays. I think that'll probably be enough. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with just some basic potting soil. We want that potting soil to be moist. All right, I'm going to put this on before I get all dirty because I still have to go to the homecoming parade and showcase tonight. All right, the soil I'm using today is a potting mix. This is not my favorite variety of soil. I typically use Burger BM7, but I'm hoping that this will do the job for what I need. All right, and it's a little bit moist already, but I'm going to pour some additional water in here. We want it to be nice and moist, not sopping wet, but definitely at least a little bit wet. Just mix that in a little bit. And I'm spreading about maybe a 1-inch layer across here. And I'm kind of patting it down a little bit. And from there, I'm going to take one variety at a time. And I'm going to go ahead and put my tag in over here. And I'm going to come in here, I'm going to grab all of my corms. And I like to just place mine on their sides. You can put them straight up and down if you want. If you put them up and down, you want the tendrils to go down. I just tend to just place them on their sides. I just feel like the whole process is easier and you're less likely to break them because they are kind of fragile. So there's one. This next one is the first one was Tomer Purple. The next one is Tecolote Merlot. All right, next is Marshmallow. And I may be putting these about an inch apart. I'm not really concerned about spacing them out really far right now because I'm just pre-sprouting. They are going to be planted directly into a raised bed at a later point in time. So right now the goal is really just to get these to start some root growth. We're not looking for necessarily sprouts, we're looking for little bitty white roots to start growing on these. Next is Tomer Pink. This one is the Romantic Mix. And remember, we don't want our soil sopping wet because these have already been soaking for 3 hours. So they're nice and moist already. And last right here is going to be the Tomer White. I guess I could have spaced these out a little bit more. I'm going to move some of these over. Especially this Romantic Mix. Give it a little bit more space. Okay, next thing I want to do is I want to take some additional potting soil. And I'm just going to start sprinkling over the top. I'm not trying to bury these really far. Just enough to give them a little bit of darkness. Maybe an inch of soil on them. All right, and then I'm just going to come down and make sure that I have everything covered. And then I'm just going to lightly press to make sure the corms have good contact. And then I am going to add a little bit more water, and it will move itself around where needed. All right, I'm going to put these aside. Okay, and let's do the next tray. Actually, let me get all this water out of here. All right, and we start again with potting mix. About enough for like an inch at the base. Spread this out to give myself a nice base. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull all of them out of here, and then I'll start spreading them out. Easier if I know how much I have to work with. And these are way bigger, so I will most likely set these upright and with the stems pointing up, but it works out fine. If you can't tell, just put it on its side if you can't tell what's up. But because these are so big, it's a little bit easier in my opinion. And I like when the ranunculus is in a big clump. So then I get a bunch of stems coming out of it. And then, since these are sticking up, I'm really going to make sure I'm just kind of sprinkling the soil in because I don't want to disturb these too much. This is homecoming week for my kids' high school. It's a homecoming parade and showcase and dress-up days and mums and garters and homecoming game and then homecoming dance. And then my kids are hosting a Halloween party here after the homecoming dance for their friends, which will be chaperoned. No, my kids are great. All right, I'm just using my fingers just to kind of go in here and kind of get the soil down and around the corm. Give it a few taps. All right, and then I am going to add a little bit extra moisture. Just like that. Sweet. All right, let me get cleaned up and we'll talk about the next steps. Okay, feeling good about that. So just to check up on those steps, we filled our tray with, an inch or two of soil, moist potting soil. We nestled the corms in the soil with claws pointing down. Or if you're like me, I put them to the side. I'm just laying on its side. It works fine. About halfway buried, you want them covered, but not deeply. So that's why I went back over the top with some more soil. So they're covered maybe about an inch tops. I labeled my sections, and you can miss lightly to settle the soil, but you saw I just did a couple of, bangs on the table, and that works fine. And we're going to place the tray in a cool, dark spot like a garage, a shed, a covered porch. I'm actually going to opt to put mine on the front porch under my bench, and I'll show you what that looks like. Remember, we are not trying to grow sprouts at this exact moment. That might happen. We're not trying to grow sprouts. We're just trying to form the little bitty white roots that will help them take off once planted. So let's go ahead and take these outside. Okay, I've got them on my front porch. This area, they don't get a lot of light. This area tends to be all in shade, and this is a cooler place. The concrete keeps it cooler here, and truthfully in 2 days we're going to be waking up in the 40s. So this is great. You don't want to put this outside in freezing temperatures, just a nice cool dry place, 50s, 60s, somewhere around there. If you don't have that, just put it in a dark place where you can keep it as cool as possible. I've had to have it outside in the 70s and they've still sprouted for me just fine. Okay, monitoring and progress. You want to check daily. Definitely put your eyes on them every single day. Keep the soil moist, damp, but not wet. So definitely keep an eye on that. I've seen some people who will put cellophane over the top of theirs. I don't suggest it. I feel like that cuts down on air circulation and can cause mold. You want to see slight swelling or early sprouting. And to see that, you're going to have to dig some up. Wait 4 or 5 days, dig one up, couple in each tray in a couple of different places. Look, see if you see any kind of swelling happening, which is what you want. If you see any kind of small white roots forming. You want to check for mold and remove any problem corms. So if you're digging up and you see a corm that has a lot of mold on it, you want to throw that away. And you want to move trays if the temps fluctuate extremely. Specifically for my area, if all of a sudden we're going to get up in the 80s, you want to move your tray inside. But if we can stay in the 50s, 60s, 70s range, you're going to be fine. For those of you who might be in a colder environment, these cannot be outside during freezing temps. So what's next? Like, I'm pre-sprouting all of these. What am I going to be doing after this? Once I see strong roots forming, I'll transplant these into deeper trays or directly into my raised bed gardens. It's going to be directly into my raised bed gardens. I don't really see the need to go to the trays next, because we're already getting to a good time of the year to plant them. And we're only going to plant them when it cools down. I want to be consistently 80 or below if possible. And I will have a follow-up video at that time showing you how I'm going to be planting them in those raised beds. And then you'll also get to see what the roots look like and all that good stuff. It's super fun. I really, really love it. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, watching me get these ranunculus pre-sprouted or getting them started for pre-sprouting. Like I said, I'll do some additional follow-up videos, letting you know how they're doing and then showing you when I get them all planted outside. The reason we do this for North Texas area is we typically have a mild winter. So when they get planted outside, they will be covered in any kind of frost. Quite frequently, if I'm going to be expecting a very long, elongated freezing amount of time that's lower than usual, I will put incandescent lights directly on the soil, and I'll cover that with frost cloth, and they tend to do great. That way, I've had success for 3 years in a row now and just absolutely loving it. Do want to remind you, ranunculus do not like to be frozen. If they freeze, they will go ahead and turn to mush. So you got to stay on top of that, but that's why that works really well in this area. Those of you who are in my zone 9, you can do this exact process as well. All right, you all, I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know if you start your ranunculus in the fall or if you start them late winter, early spring. It's different for all of us, whatever works best for you. And let me know what your favorite ranunculus varieties are. As always, make sure you like and comment on the video. Every time you like and comment, it helps grow the video and my channel so much. And if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, just drop me an emoji below, letting me know that you made it to the end of the video and you say hi. And check out my Patreon community. The link is in the video description below. It is all things gardening, and She's a Mad Gardener. It's just a great group of people that's like a small version of social media. So it's just a smaller, tighter knit group. We share what's going on in our gardens. We talk about gardening. We share photos. We have lives. We have exclusive videos. There's a lot going on. So be sure to go check that out. As always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.